Hello, guys. Hello. So I'll be taking you through the previous sessions again. I'll be there recording of them. We talked about CSS colors, font properties, inspecting CSS, the CSS box model, and the project for the day. So what are CSS colors? I told you that color is a property and you can assign values to them. So you can assign named colors as a value, hexadecimal colors as a value, the RGB colors, the RGBA colors, and the HSL colors. So the named colors, these are the colors that you've been learned, like you've been using, like the red, green, blue, yellow, and all of that. So let me just show you how it's work, how we use it. Okay, we open a new folder. This is the folder I've been using. Okay, so I'll create a new folder here. Let me close all of this tabs. So, okay, yeah, let me create an index.html file. Yeah. That's what it was. An index.html file. So I created a boiler template, and let me say I want to give a style to the body. So for this, I'll be using an inline style. So let me say body. And let me give it a color property. So we are learning about the color property. If I give it a named color, let's see what will happen. Let's open this file on the browser. Sorry, it should be background color. So now, let me add a text in the body, like H1, and give it a text. The color property actually works with text, not with the background. Okay, so let me give it a text here and say hello. So let me give it a color. And the color, let me say it's white. As you know, white is a named color. So now we have the color as white and the background color as blue. So this is how we use named colors. You can change it to anything you want. Let me say if you want another color, let me say gray. Let's see on the browser. It's now gray. It's now outstanding because it's okay. Let me give it pink. And you can also use the color wheel. This here, once you hover your mouse here, you see this pop up and you can scroll to the color you want and choose this like purple. Let me see. Okay. So this is how you use named colors. Sorry, this is now RGB. Don't mind me. It's because I use the color wheel. So now, if I write a named color, let's say pink. Let's see what happens. We now have pink. Okay, let me go back to our code. We have what is called the hexadecimal color. before going back to the code, let me take you through the MDN docs. There is a way you can find a list of all available name colors, or the one MDN docs can provide. So if you come to the MDN docs, okay, already have it named colors. So I sent you the link on WhatsApp so you can check it out. We have different name colors. These are the named colors here. And we have their hexa value by the side. And we have the color. You can see the colors associated with these keywords and the hexa value, or the named color and the hexa value. So these are the colors. You can use any of them. Let's say I want to use, let me look for a strange color. Okay. Teal. I know this will not work properly because we already had a dark color at the background. Let's see. Let's see the magic. Yes, I know, right? So this is the color. Okay, so let's go to the hexa value. So for hexa value, it's represented by or using a 6-digit code, and it has this pound sign at the start, and then we have the remaining values wherein have it's a mixture of red, green, and blue. So you can also use this set of values as a value for the color property, any whether background, anything as you said with color, you can use these colors. Okay, so let's just do something. Initially we use teal. I represent it using the hexa value for it. If I copy this, come to my code and change this here, let's see what will happen. We now still have the teal color, but now with the hexa value. So this is how we use the hexa value. So you will find color codes that looks like this. Don't be surprised. They are color properties. Okay. So we have what is called, these are the continuation. You can read more about it and you learn about the hexadecimal colors. Okay. So we'll go to the RGB colors. This comprises of a red, green, and blue value. So this red, green, and blue value is comes together. It's a mixture of them that produce a specific color. So the value ranges from 0 to 255. And let's see how it works. Let's see how it works, okay, on the browser. Okay. So this is how it's represented. You have the RGB in front of it, and then you have 3 values that's represented by the red, the green, and the blue. Okay, let's go to our code. So now if I want to add a color using the RGB, I'll write the RGB, open my bracket, and write the red value, let me say 40, red and green of 50. Let's see what that will bring. I don't know, but let's see what's bring. I got something like bottle green, and that will not look good on the browser. So okay, so this is it. It's because we're already using a dark background, so we need something bright for the font, for the colors of the text. Yeah, so let me look for this here. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit outstanding. Oh, it's a little bit shows fine. Okay, so this is how we use the RGB color. You can also represent it using the background color. Let me say the green, we have 90, the red, sorry. We have 80, see the green and we have a blue of let me say 20. Let's see what, oh, let me see what I got. I don't even know which color is this. And looks like a goldish something. Okay. So this is how we use the red, green, and blue color. Let's go to the next type of color, which is the red, green, and blue, or RGBA colors. It has an alpha property or attached to it. And that alpha property or that alpha channel, as it's stated here, is responsible for the opacity. So let's say we want to make our color transparent. Now, if you have a background color or background image, it will show within the color. So we can use the RGBA to set that kind of colors. So let's say we add A to it and add our next value. But then if we go back to our code, we'll see that it starts from 0 to 0 and 1.0, wherein 1 is fully opaque, which means 1 is solid. It's not transparent. But 0 to 0.0 upwards, they are transparent, and 0.0 is fully transparent. So you have to use your values from 0.0 upwards. Okay, so let's say 0.3. Let's see what will happen. So you see it's transparent, RGB. Yes, let me see 0.1. Can't see the text. It's not clear enough. So let's do something else. Let's give our body an image. Let's say, background image. And we do a URL. And we now find the path of our image. Let me say assets. And let me see the images I have here. Unfortunately, there are no images here. Okay, fine. Let me go backwards. This is the tree. Let me just see. Yeah, the assets. I like to be sure that I'm in the path. So let me look for an image. I like this movie background. Let's see how it's looking. Fine. So I now have my div. Let me say I have a div in this body, div tag, and let me copy this text here, put it here. Okay. And let me style the div. And let me give it a height of 50%. And let me give it a background color. Let me give it a named color. Okay, blue violet. I don't know how that would look. So we have what we call the color hunt, and that's useful for us to pick a theme color, because sometimes it's difficult to see which color we want to use on our web page and which color we match. So if you come to the color hunt, you'll find 3 colors that you may want to use. So let's say, okay, you have different themes. So now you'll find, maybe I'll use this for background, I'll use this for the text. So developers use color hunts to find themes for their color, for their page, for their web page. It's a free tool, so you don't have to worry about paying for it. So let me see which one I want to use. Okay, let me go with this. It has the color. You have the named color, you have the hexa values, and you have the RGB color values. So let me say I want to use this for the background. So I'll just have to click on it. And I can click here if I want, and you see copied. It means I have copied it successfully. So let me give this as a background color. But notice, if you notice, it didn't come with the pound sign. So I need to add it in front, and it's now there. So let me see. Okay. So let me give it a width. Sorry, this was supposed to be a width of 30%. And let me give it a height of, 100 pixel. And see how this will look. Okay, it's fine. Maybe I can change this color to this. Let's see how it will look. You're good with designing, then you can choose whichever you want to use. Web development or coding is all about creativity. You can create your own designs and see how it's blending well. It looks good, at least I like it. So let me center my div. Okay, my div is centered. I like it like that. Okay, so maybe I can just okay, let's leave it like this. So what I want us to do is to make this transparent using the RGBA color property. So let me say if I come here, I already gave it a background color, but no, I need to copy the RGB property of this. This is what I use, right? So let me copy it, paste it here. But I know I need the third value. First, I needed to add the A here to make it RGBA to give chance for me to apply the alpha property. So I'll now say 0.3. Remember, it's 0.1, 0.0 upwards. 0.0 is fully transparent. So let's see. This is too transparent. If you can see, we can hardly see the color again. So let me increase to 0.7. Because once we go up, we start saying, yeah, it's transparent as well. Let me see, 0.9. Okay, I think this is better. But this is how you can make your color transparent with the alpha channel, just by using the RGBA colors. Okay, we have another type of color, which is the HSL. It works like every other color, but it has what is called the hue, the saturation, and the lightness. Okay, so the hue, the color type, is represented by any angle from 0 to 360. It can be red, green, blue. It's the color type, so any color you choose. And saturation is the intensity of the color. Okay, and it's represented by percentage. Okay, and you have the lightness. I hardly use this, but I have heard from other developers that some of them prefer using this color. So let's see how it works. Let's change this to HSL. HSL here. And you can, let me say it's a 9. Let me give it 50%. Sorry. And the lightness of is 10%. I don't know which color is this. It has to do with like bottle green or something. Okay. There are lots of. I can also see you have the HSLA property and all of that. So this is how you learn. Now you've learned about the HSL. You want to dive in about all HSL, you can come to the Victory School or whichever, and you'll type HSL colors. And let me say CSS. Let's see what will come up. Okay, CSS HSL colors. So you see, you can read about it and learn about it. I think some of the things I didn't cover, you'll be able to learn how to use them. Okay, fine. You can also make HSL transparent. It has attached to it. So you can see with the alpha property, it can either be light and all of that, just like the RGBA. So you have videos that you can watch. The web is there, just research and you'll learn more. Okay, and web developers will always research. We don't memorize things, we know where to get them, and that makes life easier somehow. So we have the font properties. We have the font family, the font size, the font weight, and the font style. So let's say the font family. The font family specifies the typeface. The typeface could be different font family. For instance, if you've worked with Word, Excel, let me open my Excel or Word. Sorry. So you guys could just see. I know you understand. Some of you may know. But let me just open a Microsoft Word application. Here, if you come here, you'll see different typeface, different handwritings. So if I have my text here and I want to change the font family, I can give it ALBRA. You see the handwritings have changed. I can give different font family or typeface as I need. Oh, of course, it specifies the typeface that should be used for text within an element. As you could say, it works for text within an element. So you can set it to a specified font, a generic font family, or a combination of both. Okay. So for instance, the body, we've given it a font family of Arial and a fallback font family for sans serif. So in case we are in the browser loads slowly, you can get a default sans serif font that is always available until our browser loads properly and all of that. So let's see how we can use the fonts family. Let me go to our code. So now I need a paragraph. Let me see what I have here. Okay. Let me go back to my code this time. Let me see if I can make text. No, let me come to the div and make text align. Center. Fine, it's centered. So let me add a Lawrence on text, a paragraph. Okay. Let me see how this looks. Okay, it's good. So now we've seen this. let's change the font family. The default font family. We have the font family here. This could either be I'll check either save or sans serif. Okay. But meanwhile, let me change the font family of the paragraph. I can come here. I want to just change the font family of the paragraph and give it and write the font family property and give it. We have a list of them. Let me say I just want this. Oh, I like Cambrian. Yeah, let me see Cambrian. Cambrian. Let's see. Yes. But then let me add fallback. Let me give it a mystery. Let's see. So let me add another font family, Arial. And they have Arial black here. So let me give Arial Arial. Arial, yes. In it, nobody listen. Arial. Let's see if it works first. Yeah, the font family has changed. So I can add a fallback to it. Let me say save. And this is how you change your font family. So let me just randomly choose. We have to check for these different families. And we have this here. But then there's a way we can choose which font family we want to add. So now I can go to Google Fonts.com. Let me say fonts. Fonts.google.com. Take note of the name of the website. So now we have different fonts here. Instead of me trying which one looks good, maybe I researched or I have the font family name that they used in the Figma design or so. So now what I need to do is, let me say, okay, I want this one. I've searched. I like this font family. Where is it? Ah, it has gone. I didn't check the name, unfortunately. But let me say, okay, I like this font family. It's called Anton. So you can also search fonts that you want. Let me say Cambria. Okay. Oh, different fonts. Let me say we have Roboto here. And I would like to use this font family in my code. Okay. I want to use this font family in my code. I'll click on it. And it has different designs. So this one with 900 font weights will look like this. This one with it has different. So let me say I want to go with this one. Okay, so if I want to get this font, I need to click on this get font, and I can embed the code in my HTML by clicking that embed code. Copy. Oh, go outside, I did. Sorry, and copy this code. See the link is checked. And I go to my HTML documents. In my head, I'll paste the link. So now you see, I pasted the link. So then, if I check the same web, I can see how they've worked with the same font with different font way. We'll learn about that and different styles, I would say. So let me take one with okay. So let me say I take this style. I want this style. So I'll copy it and come to my code, look for my P tag and paste it there. Let's see what will happen. Let me format selection so my code will look organized at least. So if I go to my browser, I have it here, we'll see that the text, we'll see that the font family has changed, or the typeface have changed. Okay. And that's because we use the Roberto. Let me say, okay, let me leave it like that. Or we can, let me look for a different font family and go over it again. Okay, I can go to fonts here. Let's look for something different from what we've used before. Okay. Yes, let me go for this one. And let's just see. Let me get the font. And yes, I should get the embedded code, copy it, and don't worry, I'll just place it here. Maybe I'll just get rid of this, or I can still place it here. Okay, once more, let me make my documents organized. That's not what I wanted to choose. I wanted to choose format selection. So make sure you don't use format document. Use format selection. Okay. So now I go back to the browser and I want to use this. I'll copy it and come to my code and change the font family of this. So if I go to my browser, that's changed. Now have similar of what we had. Okay. Now, if I want to, I don't want to, I only change this. It didn't affect the hello, the header text. So the heading text, sorry. So I need it to be in the entire page, like whichever code oh, this is Oboto. Let me go back. Something is wrong. Did I copy this? This should be the style that we needed. So I need to come here again. Sorry, guys. And yes, this, I need to remove this because it asked me to write the once more. Let me make my code organized. I like using this easy way. So let's check. Yeah, now we have the styling. We now have the styling. So I was saying, in cases wherein I want all my text to have the same font family, I don't want to be changing it in the P tag or the specific tag. You could see the heading text is not changed because we didn't apply that style to it. This is the purpose of the universal selector. So if I come here, well, there's different ways I can do it. I can just add the font family in the div and it will affect every of them. But let me say if I'll be having other text that I want to have the same font family typeface. So I'll write my selector, my universal selector, and put the font family inside the universal selector. I need to remove this, as I said. So the reason why I'm removing this, because they're asking me to specify the weight, so I could give it 800 and we are fine. So let me format select it and we could see the hello has changed and everything has changed. So this is how we use font family. You can also go to W3 Schools and learn about font family. Google Fonts, font family, there's font family properties. You can go through it and you'll learn a lot, and you have, you know, playgrounds to just see how it works. And then you can improve your skills more. So let's go to a slide. We have what is called the font size. So we should learn how to change, simplify it. I'll say the handwriting. Now, let's say we want to work on the size of the font. We want to make it big. Let me come to Word document. We have this font size here that we can change. I want to make it big. If I want to make it bigger, I can just change the font size. See, when I hover my mouse, it's stated font size, change the size of your text. And here it's stated font, pick your new font. So we just learned about fonts and the font family. So we have different units that we can use to increase the font size or to change the size of our fonts, because you can either increase it or decrease it using the font size property. We have the pixel. The pixel, this is a fixed size that does not change with user settings. So once you give it 20 pixel, it remains 20 pixel. Yes, no matter how you change the settings or anything. So we have the points. The point is a little bit larger than the pixel. So this is represented by point. Here we have points here in Microsoft Word. So points is bigger than pixels a little bit. So these are absolute units. We have the relative units, which is the M, the rep, the percentage, and all of that. So you can also come to web development, W3 Schools, and write and learn units. Let's see. CSS unit. So don't worry, just write it. It'll pop. So we have different absolute lengths. You learn them. There are tons of them. As I told you earlier, we don't memorize, but we know where to get. So you can see this is pixel is 1/96 of an inch. It's 1 inch representing 1/96 of 1 inch. Yes, so 1 pixel is 1/96 of 1 inch. Yeah, that's it. And 1 point is 1/72 of 1 inch. Okay, we have lots of them. Okay, we have the M. See, we have the VH, and this is the view height. But this, you'll learn about this when you start working with yes, response, when you start learning how to make code response. So view width and view height, they're very useful. We have Vmax. So you have to come and read. And that's the secret to becoming that professional web developer. that you want to become. Okay, so let's go to the pixel and see how we use the pixel. So now we have, let me target the paragraph. Let's see the size we have on the browser. This is it, small. So let's increase it. So target the P element, and we give it a font size property of, let me say 20 pixel. It's represented by px. It's a little bit big. Let me make it even bigger and give it 80. It's even overflowing. So this is how we make it. Or let me make it smaller. Let me say I give it 5 pixel. It's even smaller now. So this is how we work on the sizing. And we have the points. So let me just change this to point instead of pixel. Okay. So you see, it's a little bit bigger. Initially, it had just one line. Now we have 2 lines because point is a little bit bigger than pixel. Okay. So this is, it works the same way. Point and pixel. Yes, and they are fixed. So let's go to the next item, which is, you read your notes, you learn more, which is EM. M, like I learned that it's representing the size of the EM, but it's a relative unit, and it's commonly used for, or to set sizes for a font. It's also used for margin paddings and other layouts property. So how do we use this? Let's go to the next slide. Example usage. This is how it's used. Now we have a body that has like 16 pixel, and we have a font size of 2 EM. So it's 2 times the font size of the body. So this is how it works. It's 2 times the font size of its parent. So what do we mean by parents? These are like the tags inside the, should I say the nested tags? Yeah, so now inside the div is wrapped around the H1 and the paragraph. So because it's wrapped around them immediately, or else, yes, let me say that. So these are the children of the div, and the body is a direct, the div is a direct child to the body, and these ones, they're not direct children of the body, but they have a relationship with it. I'll say they are grandchildren of the body, but the div is a child of the body, whilst the H1 and the paragraph, they are children, and the div is the parent of these two. So this is how it works. So in this case, it's saying that when you give a font size using the EM, you are multiplying the font size of the body tag. So now we have a div here. Let's say we have a font size that is 20 pixel. Let's see how it works. And the paragraph, we initially gave it 5 points. That's why we give it 2 EM. So this is now supposed to be 40. Yes, it's supposed to be 40 pixel. So let's check. So this is now 40 pixel. So let's say we increase this to 30. Let's see what will happen. It's not even bigger. So they are like, it dependent it depends on the font size, depends on the parent. Okay, let me say I make this 60. Let's see what will even happen. It's even bigger. Imagine I didn't touch the font size of the paragraph. So this is how the EM works. Okay, so let's go to the REM. So this is the REM, and it's also a relative unit. Yes, and it's like the EM. The only thing about the REM, it does not depend on its parent, rather it depends on the root size, the root element, which is like the body or the HTML. Let me not say body, sorry, the HTML tag. So if I say REM, it doesn't depend. Yes. 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 Sorry, guys. It don't depend on the. So let's see what will happen here. See, it's returned back to it. But let's say we copy this and put it. Let me see the HTML. Or I can just put it here. And let's see what happens. It's now big again because this also representing universal selector. The entire page. Thank you. Sorry guys, my mom came in. So this is how it works. Okay, guys. So we have other slides here. You can read it, and then let's go to the percentage. So the percentage, we learned about percentage, like say 50% of this would be like somewhere in the middle of the width, or 50% of 30% would be somewhere if a div is located in this direction. So this is how percentage is used. It's based on the size of the parent, okay? So it will just work based on the size of, so if you have like the parent that has a width of 50% of font size, a width of 50%, sorry. So the percentage of the font size will take that as well. But most people prefer using the REM. So if the container's width is 80%, then whatever fonts will add and give it percent will take that percentage size of the code. But most times we use percentage for width, and yes. So this is your assignment. As I said, it's good for you guys to come together and make yourself comfortable, connect with each other, network in your group, use this slide to study the definition about units, and you're free to reach out to me when you want to do your presentation. Okay, just give me a date you like to do your presentation. I'm here. So this is an opportunity for you to hold yourself accountable, meet, study, and visit different sites and learn this to your fingertips. Okay, so then you'll be able to know, especially this, when and why to use this unit. It's very important when to use the REM, when to use the percentage, and when to use this. Okay, so the font weight, we've learned how to. Sorry. We've learned how to work with, change the style of the font, sorry, the size of font, and also change the font family or the handwriting. So now the font weight, sometimes we want to make it, bold. We want to make it bolder, lighter, and lots. And I forgot something, but if you read and search the internet, you learn about there is also ways you can make your font size extra large, small, medium. Yes, you can use this in as much as I hardly use them, but you may need them, or you may need to know it then. Okay, so now you can make it bolder, lighter. You can also, you have little of them extra light. So we have values that we can also use to make our fonts with how we want. These are like keywords that you can use just like we learn for the name colors, you can use normal. And this is what using normal mean. It's a default width. So when you create your tags and you show it on the page, or you create your tag, your P tag, when you check on your web browser, the default font width there is normal. Okay, but you can give it bold. You have values that I'll see in the next slide, and even bolder, but you can use all of these keywords to set them. Okay. So we have those that depends on the appearance as well. These are the ones that depend on the appearance. But we have those that are independent, I'll say. Okay, so we can represent them using values, and this is what the values symbolize. Okay, then this is all for width, and we'll go to font style. Meanwhile, let me show you how we can use the font size. So let me target all the text elements in this div. Since we have just one div, I'm styling every div on the page, but since we have one div, it's just will be applied to that div. But if I have multiple divs, we have to use something like class and so on. So let me give my font width and let me use keywords. This is the good thing about VS Code. VS Code always makes our life easy. So I can just see all of the properties here. I can just choose, or I type them myself. So you have to choose whether you want to type it yourself or you write them. But if you're starting, I'll advise you write them. Okay. So let's say we want to use keywords and make it lighter. This lighter depends on the parent, and this is the body. So it doesn't matter, except if I wanted to give it a fixed font weight. But let's see. Okay. So let me give it a font weight. I think I already have a font weight here. So it's a little bit lighter than. So let me remove this. That's why you see it was. So I can now work on font weight here. So font weight, let me say, I now give it the values because most times you'll be using the values. So you see how it is? Let's see 900. Bold. Yeah, I need to remove this font size thing. All of this. Okay. Okay, so let me give bold and say. I think bold already. Somebody. How? Okay. Yes. Is it yes. Sorry, guys. Okay. So this is how the font weight is being used. You change it here. Let's say we have 200. Let's see. This is it. You can see it's little. Let's go back to 900. See, it's now showing bolder. Okay, so this is how we use the font weight. Okay, you read more about it. So we have the font style. How you want your font style to look. Whether you want it to look italic, which is slightly slanted. Or slanted, yes. Whether you want to use different fonts. Font style. So let's see. Let's add a font style to this. And let's see what we have here. I don't need font styles. I mean font style. So now we have italic, normal, oblique, inheritance. Let me use italic. So now we see it's slanted. And this is fine. So this is how you use your fonts. Inspecting CSS. This is very useful for us to learn how to inspect elements. So if you go to your browser and press the F1, in the notes, you'll see how you can, get into the developers mode or the developers tool. So for me, I press F12 because I am using Windows and I'm using Chrome currently. So now we have developers tool on the Chrome browser. We have these icons here. This is responsible for toggling to check for responsiveness. But you learn about this when we'll talk about the responsiveness. So you have here, this is used to inspect the elements on the browser. So if I click on it, you see I have elements here where my codes are. See my head, my body, all my codes are here. And I have the style tab, and here I can see my style. So if I click on, remember I didn't click here automatically. I clicked here first. So when I click here, it will open. So if I didn't click here, nothing will not be able. I'll not be able to choose anything. So let me click here again and come. Let me target this H1. So now if you could see, these are the styling that are attached to this H1. So you see, it has this font size, it has this, and this. Okay. Okay. And these are the other styles that are attached to it. Okay. Okay. So let's target the paragraph. If you could see, this is the paragraph tag. And these are the stylings that are attached to it. Okay. So you'll be able to see them here. Let's say we want to target the div. Okay, I can still come here and click here. Then I'll have targeted the div. Okay. So initially, if we check our code, we didn't have a style for the H1 and the paragraph. So that's why when I hover around it. If I come here, you see they have like these are default style. It has a display property of block by default and everything. But for the ones that I have styles for instance, the div, now I can be able to uncheck and even style from here to see how the style will look. So if I want to change the background color from here, I can do this for every website actually. I can do it from every website, on every website. I can check it here. So this is useful when maybe your styles are not working. So you come here and just style your codes and just see the styles that are being applied. Because for instance, if there are styles that are not being applied, you see them here and you see them disabled. So they are not being implemented on the page. So this is very important. Okay. So I can check, remove all the styles from here. And even the background. Yes. But if I go back and refresh, still have them here because that developer tool is just for testing and debugging and lots of that. Okay, so let me go to Google. Yeah, let me go to the developers and come here. So these are the styles that have been applied here. Yes, so let me come here. Okay, I can. Okay, let me see. I think this is an image. Okay, yes. This is the image. Okay. Let me change the width here to 600. So you can, let me, yes. Oh, yes. So you can see the styles that they use. For instance, this text area, it has a transparent color. Let's give it a different color. Okay. So if you could see, I'm changing the color. Yeah. Okay, this is the border bottom. So I can also change the line heights. Let me give it, let's see. I'm now distorting Google's text. So you see, let me say this is the button. It has the color, let me add. Okay, it has the background color of white. Let me give it blue. And let me give it a color property of white. So now I've created my own Google looks. So this is how you can use this developer tool in the area of CSS. There are lots of things you can do with it, but this is what I'll show you. It's your duty to go and learn more about the exciting things we can do. Imagine, see Google. Now everything is just distorted. Imagine I just gave sign, but I like the color. Okay, let's go to a slide. So there are a lot you can read, okay? And we now go to the box model. The box model. This is a very important concept that every that every developer should understand. Yeah, the man is. So the box model is very important because every element on the page is represented by a box in which we have the content, we have its height, we have its width, and we have the margin, the padding. Okay, yes. So I'll ask you as well to go and study more about the box model. Okay. So let's go to the padding. So the padding is the space between the border and the elements, or the content and the border, okay? Or the content of the elements and the border. Let's see. Okay, so let's give a border property. So the border property has 3 values. The one is expansible, the thickness of the border, which is the first value. So I can say let it be 2 pixels. And the style of the border, the next value, which is the style of the border. Style of the, and the next we have the color of the border. Hello, I haven't lost. So we have okay, so the color is white. Okay, I'm going to touch this. Yes. So now I open. Sorry, let me check my code. Oh, the style should be solid. Sorry. So let me check my code. For some reason we're seeing all of this. Let me inspect. So this is the purpose of the Chrome developer tool. I'm seeing Room Companion, recording. Okay. So I have some extensions here that are disturbing us. So meanwhile, for me to solve this issue, let me just target the div on a page. So I'll just give a class and call it div. So I'll just add a div here. Okay, fine. Let me increase the size of the width of the height of the div. Okay, it's fine. So the padding, as we learned, is the space between the content, which is this div, and the border. So we have the div, this is a div, and we want to give the space from the div to the border. So the div has this content in it. So how will we do that? But first we can see we already have a space here. So, but this is the default property or styling that comes with the default styling. So for me to remove all of those margin and paddings that comes with some style or some tag, I'll have to add the margin property in my inverter selector and remove all of them by giving the margin value 0 and the padding value 0. Okay. Let's see what happens. Fine. So now everything is fitting. So, but I want to give a space, a padding between my content and the border. So I'll come to my div and give it a padding property of, let me say, 20 pixel. So let's see how this will look. Fine, we now have a space between the border and the content. So this is how the padding is added to our page. So we have different ways we can, style the padding or use the padding property. We have padding left, padding right for all sides, padding bottom. But when I use the padding, just the padding property, it's a shorthand property and it adds space to all sides of the content. So if you see the same size of spaces here, the same space size is here, the same space size is here. But let's say I just wanted to add a padding just at the left. So I'll give it a padding left property. Let's see what will happen. So it has just added to the left. The same goes for the right. The same goes for the top. Yeah, the same goes for the bottom. So I need to remove the height. So now we have some padding. Initially, before this, let's see what's there. It was close to the border. But now, if I added the padding bottom, we have a space from the border to text. It works for paragraph as well. It works for margin. As I said, it works for all elements on a page. What's happening? Okay, guys, let me just organize my code once more. Okay, let's target the P tag. And let's give it a border, the same. And let's see how it works. So now we have the border here. And let me give a padding. So if you could see, we now have the border close to this other border. So if I can give it a space, I need to add a padding. So let me give it a general padding or shorthand property. Now let's see how it works. So you see, let me give my height again. That's it. Fine. So now let's say we want to give a padding to all sides of our text of a paragraph. So if you see, we have the paddings around the paragraph. So this is how padding is done. Or this is how we use padding. We can specify for the left using the shorthand property, the right, top, bottom, left, right, and just read, you know how it's been implemented. So for the border, we can also change the style, as I said. Not only solid, we have solid represents a line, we have the dashed, let's use, we have dotted, we have two solid lines. You can play around it. Let me give this a dotted so you'll see. Style. If we check our code, we now have a dotted style. Okay. So let's go to the next. Border now, the margin. So the margin works like the padding, but the difference between the margin and the padding is the margin does not give space between the border and the contents. Rather, it gives a space around the element, around the border. Let me say that. So let's say now, div is right at the top of the page. So let's give it a padding, imagine top, and you see to move the entire content down together with the body, the border and everything. So let me give it a margin up top. Let me say 30 pixels. So you see, this is how it works. So let's move the paragraph around the div. So let's say margin left and give it 20 pixels. Let's see what will happen. It has moved the entire paragraph to the left. Now, the H1 is close to the paragraph. So let's give it a margin top of 20 pixels. Let's see how it works. So now you see there is a space. And this is how margin works. And if you go to our slide, you see we can set it using different formats. You can use the shorthand way, which is this. You can use the all side way, and just read your notes, you'll see. So this is our project. You can try it. So we have a border here, we have an image, we have a text, color, and we have a background color. So you're able to use everything you learned to develop this. Happy coding, everyone. See you in the next session.